couldn't stop smiling. She didn't wear anything flashy. She didn't try to impress him. All she did was gently touch his arm and whisper, "You always make me laugh." And that moment, it stuck with him more than any sexy photo or dramatic declaration ever could. Because here's the truth. When it comes to love, especially with men who are emotionally mature, it's not always the big moves that capture their heart. It's the quiet, cute little things, the things older women do effortlessly. And the wildest part? Most older women don't even know they're doing these things. In a society that constantly pushes the narrative that youth equals desirability, older women often forget just how powerful they really are. But according to a 2023 Elite Singles survey, 26% of men aged 25 to 39 said they'd prefer to date a woman who is 5 to 10 years older, and 13% said they'd date someone even older. If there was real emotional connection, they'd let that sink in for a second. Despite all the noise out there, the real desire, the one that doesn't make headlines, is for women who are grounded, confident, playful, and deeply present. And those are things younger women are still learning how to be. So today we're breaking down the 7 cute little things older women do that drive men crazy. These are subtle, charming gestures that hit a man right in the heart. And once you know them, you'll never underestimate your magic again. Let's dive in. 1. She teases him like a grown woman. Let's be real. Flirting can either be fun or downright awkward. And unfortunately, a lot of people get it wrong. But older women? They've mastered the art of playful teasing. Without crossing the line into immaturity or game playing, she might say, "Oh, so that's your go-to move when you're trying to impress someone, huh?" Or with a sly smile, "You're cute when you think you're in control." It's not about making fun of him, it's about winking at the moment, showing him she's sharp, playful, and not here to stroke his ego blindly. According to psychologist Dr. Jeremy Nicholson, known as the Attraction Doctor, playful teasing is one of the most effective ways to build romantic tension, especially when it's combined with emotional maturity and authentic confidence. Younger women might flirt for attention, but older women flirt because they're genuinely enjoying the moment. And men can feel that. It's light, it's magnetic, and it makes him want more. 2. She listens like she really cares. In today's world, everyone's talking, but very few are actually listening. That's why when a man meets a woman who listens with intentionality and presence, it feels like a breath of fresh air. Older women tend to ask deeper follow-up questions. They pick up on the emotion behind the words, not just the words themselves. He says, "Work's been kind of crazy lately." And instead of brushing it off or moving on, she says, "Is it the workload or something else weighing on you?" That subtle shift from passive listening to active empathy is massive. According to a 2022 study published in the journal Personality and Individual Differences, men in emotionally secure relationships reported greater satisfaction when their partner showed consistent empathy and attentive listening. And older women tend to do this naturally because they've had real conversations, real heartbreak, and real healing. For many men, it's the first time they feel like someone actually sees them, not just their job title or potential, but them. And that emotional safety, that's what makes her unforgettable. 3. She touches with intention. Now, let's talk about the power of a gentle touch. This isn't about overt sexuality or flashy gestures. It's about small, intentional moments of physical connection, like fixing the fold in his collar before he heads into a meeting, placing a calming hand on his back when he's telling a difficult story, lightly brushing his hair out of his face with no agenda. These moments aren't about seduction, they're about connection. According to Dr. Corey Floyd, a professor at Arizona State University who researches affectionate communication, non-sexual touch between romantic partners increases oxytocin, lowers stress levels, and builds trust. What's more, the intention behind the touch matters more than the frequency. Older women, who are more in tune with emotional attunement and physical presence, naturally express affection in these subtle but impactful ways. And men, they feel it. Not in a superficial way, but in a soul-deep way. That one moment of tender touch can say, "I'm here, I see you, you matter." And that drives men wild because it's rare and it's real. 4. She laughs freely without performing. There's a specific kind of laugh that stays with a man. It's not the high-pitched, rehearsed laugh that tries too hard. It's not the polite chuckle to keep things smooth. It's the genuine, unfiltered laugh of a woman who's comfortable in her own skin. Older women tend to laugh with their whole soul. When something's funny, they let it out. When they're happy, it shows. They don't hide it, they don't edit it. And here's the magic. That kind of laughter invites him in. In a 2019 report by relationship researcher Jaffrey Hall at the University of Kansas, humor and laughter were identified as key bonding elements in romantic attraction. But more specifically, authentic laughter, as opposed to forced or staged, increased perceived compatibility and emotional intimacy. And guess what? Older women laugh authentically because they've stopped trying to impress. They just enjoy. So when a man hears that warm, contagious laugh, he doesn't just want to be near it, he wants to protect it, to be the reason behind it. And that makes him fall harder than he expected. 5. She's not afraid to be silly. Imagine this. He's had a long day. Everything feels heavy. Deadlines, expectations, stress. Then she comes in with a goofy grin, does a ridiculous little dance in the kitchen, or puts something on his head and says, "You're officially my dinner date king now." And just like that, the tension melts. Because here's what men crave but rarely admit: playfulness, joy, lightness. And older women, especially those who've stopped caring about looking cool, are surprisingly amazing at this. They've learned that life's too short to take too seriously, so they let themselves be a little silly, a little ridiculous, and a whole lot of fun. Psychologist Dr. Susan Krauss-Whitborn, in a 2021 article for Psychology Today, notes that as people age, they often grow more comfortable with vulnerability and humor, making them more emotionally accessible, not less. So when an older woman lets her guard down to be silly, it doesn't make her less attractive, it makes her magnetic. To a man, it says, "This is a woman who will help me feel lighter, not heavier." And that's rare and irresistible. 6. She gives compliments that go deep. Let's be honest, most compliments are shallow. You look good, nice shirt, cool car. But when an older woman compliments a man, it hits different. Why? Because it comes from a place of real observation and emotional intelligence. Instead of saying, "You're so handsome," she might say, "You're really good at making people feel comfortable," or "You have this quiet strength that I really admire." These compliments go below the surface. They acknowledge who he is, not just what he looks like. And this is important. In a study by the American Psychological Association, men reported higher emotional satisfaction in relationships where their partners consistently recognized their non-physical traits, such as kindness, work ethic, and resilience. Older women are often experts at this because they've had enough life experience to value substance over surface. And when a man feels seen like that, he's not just attracted, he's hooked. 7. She knows when to just be there. This is the one that really gets to the heart of why men go crazy for older women. Sometimes, she doesn't try to fix anything. She doesn't rush to fill the silence. She doesn't offer a dozen solutions. She just sits beside him, quietly, calmly, present. She might say nothing more than, "I'm here when you need me." And that presence, that anchored energy, is more healing than any advice or pep talk. According to a 2020 research paper in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, the mere presence of a secure and emotionally available partner significantly reduces psychological stress, especially for men who often struggle to open up. Older women understand this better than most. They know when to talk and when not to, when to hold space and when to hold a hand. And men, they don't just notice it. They feel it in their chest, their mind, and their soul. It's the kind of support they didn't even know they were missing. And once they've experienced it, they won't settle for anything less. So here's the truth. The things that drive men crazy about older women aren't what you think. It's not about Botox or bending over backwards. It's not about trying to act 25 again. It's about being yourself, being playful, present, warm, honest. It's the teasing, the touch, the laughter, the deep compliments, the calm. All these little things, they whisper something to a man's heart. You're safe here. You're wanted. You're seen. And that, more than any filter, outfit, or pickup line, is what makes you unforgettable. So, if you're an older woman wondering whether you still have it, let me tell you right now, you never lost it. You're just getting started. You're not just attractive. You're a whole experience. Until next time, keep showing up as the powerful, magnetic woman you are.